sometimes we don't have to do much decoration at all. And like a lot of our things we have at Dr. Skubenek's house, and they have a really beautiful home. So we just have to maybe get a few floral pieces just to dress up, you know, their countertop, that sort of thing, and then of course the decorations we use for the table. But I like to match my table decoration, if we're just going to focus on that, to the invitation. So if our invitation has apples on it, then I like the tables to have apples on them. Or maybe even if the meal has something apple-y related, like a special drink, or the salad has apples or something like that. I like it all to kind of match. But I am frugal, I guess is the right word, rather than saying cheap. I'm frugal with the university's money, and so I like to reuse things. I mentioned that we had some succulents before, and we've reused them for a dozen events, I bet. We've had them for 2 years. And so, you know, sometimes it might be a little expensive to make an initial investment in something, but if you're able to reuse it, then I think that is a good way to decorate. If I had all the money in the world, then I would order BBJ linens every time, the fancy linen company, and have big fancy linens on our tables, elaborate floral candles, special napkins. I would even love to order, you know, special plates rather than just the regular white plates, you know, have special plates and like gold silverware and all of that fun stuff. But, you know, that's not always something you can do with the budget. So I think making use of what you have and being creative, but definitely my style is classic, but also fancy. I like lots of flowers and that sort of thing, if the budget is there to do that.
What are some tips or some things that you've learned along the way for successful decorating?
Always bring a lighter, because you're probably going to have to light a candle.
Okay.
And I've asked top tier catering or whoever's catering for their lighter several times because I've forgotten it. I always bring a pair of scissors with me, because you're more than likely going to have to cut something, whether it's a string off of a runner or, I don't know, the wick off of a candle or something like that. So bringing a pair of scissors, but thinking about who's in the room too. If you know that you have somebody that's allergic to something, especially grass or flowers, that sort of thing, you don't want to have a table full of really smelly flowers, and they'll be sneezing, eyes watering the whole meal. If you have a large event, you know, or a large space where your event is being held, then ordering live plants we order them from Maria, who works at the greenhouse here on campus, but that's a really inexpensive way to fill a space so it doesn't look so empty if you're in a really big room. So I think just really taking time and planning, and not just saying, oh, we'll throw some flowers on the table and a runner and call it good, but really thinking about what the room is going to look like, drawing it on a piece of paper. We do lots of laying out that way, I think. So maybe it's not always to scale, but you get an idea of how it's going to be. Even we use Pinterest a lot, and so getting swatches or whatever we want to call it of our ideas and putting them on a board so we can see everything and how it may look together. One of the very biggest parties, I guess, that I plan in our office is the Christmas party for all of the faculty and staff. And so a really fun day is when the linen lady comes and we get to look at all of the linens together, and she pulls all of her swatches and we put them all on the table, and I take a picture of it, and I really start from there, and I do linens first so that I can see you know, what everything is going to look like, and then build from there. And so I think starting with one thing and then putting everything all together around it, and that's a good tip, I think. Just try to be as visual as you can and plan.
Usually before an event, our events team gets together and we kind of talk about, okay, this is how we want Spur to look this year. This is kind of the image we're going for. Typically, we will have found inspiration on Pinterest or something that we saw, you know, on TV, and we kind of go off of that. This job for me has been particularly fun because my personal taste and my boss's personal taste are very similar. However, she loves to do like crazy fun stuff. So she's like, let's pick out crazy linens And she told me whenever she first started this role, she had picked very just simple, like following her own personal taste, like, neutrals, nothing too crazy. And she looked at her pictures and she said, I just feel like this isn't how I want it to be. Like, I feel like I see these pictures of these professional events and they look so wild and fun. And she was like, I just want mine to be like that. And so that's when she started kind of going a little crazy. And it really, she said, kind of transformed her events and made them more fun. And so I think that us collaborating as a group prior to events and looking at pictures together, bouncing ideas off of each other is something that's really crucial for us, making sure, am I crazy about like wanting it to look like this, or do y'all think this looks good? For us, that's a big key to, I think, our event success and making sure it looks good. It certainly helps whenever you can utilize different vendors and be able to look at things and put them together. That's why I like doing those style sheets, because I like seeing certain things up next to each other. Does this napkin look good with this linen, and that kind of thing. So those things, to me, having someone to bounce your ideas off of as well as seeing it together visually is what helps me know that our event is going to look tasteful and not bad.
Yeah.
If it doesn't turn out just quite the way that you were wanting it to be, and maybe you've got a little bit of a twitch going because something is a little off center, probably you're the only one that's going to notice. Sometimes you just have to let it go. I've learned that a lot. I used to really hold on to things when my first couple years of doing this, but now I've gotten better about, that looks nice. So just let it go.